Hello everyone, welcome to GED. Today we are doing some Borderlands skill building. Guys, I am maining Fl4k all the way, and today we're going to do my personal Fl4k build and just how I play. A little bit of, pre-information before we get started here. Fl4k can choose any of the 3 pets based on whichever one you like the most, basically. But to go down the skill trees will enable more buff pets. I'm not sure if they do more damage. I mean, no one really knows at this point in time. Will they be better or worse than just the base pet? I mean, damage-wise, it appears not, because none of them get any damage boosts per se, but they do gain little special bonuses like health, movement, speed, etc., etc. I am a power gamer. I'm a damage outputting power gamer, just so you know, guys. And my build is going to be centered on the red tree, the hunter tree for Fl4k, because I love the racks, I love the spider ant, I love everything about this tree. So let's just get into my build, and I'm going to explain all the abilities and why or why not. I'm not going to take them, or I am going to take them, etc., etc. First off, we have Interplanetary Stalker. Whenever he kills an enemy, he gets stacks, and he gets a bonus to damage, bonus to different types of enemies, like humans, robots, and beasts. I'm maxing this out. I am totally maxing that out. That's just too good to pass up. Interplanetary Stalker just seems absolutely amazing. At max stacks, you get 10% bonus per stack, and up to 3 stacks are maximum, so you can get 30% damage, you can get 15% action skill damage, 7.5 corrosive per stack. That's like, wow, that's a huge weapon damage bonus on robots. And beasts, well, you basically just get to move faster. They did change that. It used to be kind of, I think, damage reduction from beasts, but now it's movement speed, so you can run like the devil. All right, next, Leave No Trace. Whenever you crit, you get 1 ammo. It's okay. It's good. I've never had a problem with like reloading in Borderlands, honestly. And later on in the game, you can max your reload, so you reload almost instantaneously anyways. So I don't really have a need to get this skill. Some people base their builds around it, just infinite ammo, but I don't really care about it. Okay, I care about the burst, the damage. So next we have Second Intention, which is a passive. Whenever he kills an enemy, he gets reload speed. So there you go. You get reload speed right in the next ability to counteract the ammo gain. So I don't like it. I don't really care for the reload speed. So I guess I better go back and actually equip the spider ant and equip the rack ability. Forgot the rack ability. Fl4k sends 2 racks forward to dive bomb enemies, and it has multiple charges, i.e. It says 18-second cooldown, but to get the full amount of charges, you're going to double that up to 36. Damage, I don't know. Nobody really knows what the damage scales off right now. We're going to have to wait till the actual game, but for me, just sending out 2 homing dive bombing racks is simply amazing. Next up, we have an augment. Rack Open a Cold One, which converts racks to cryo damage. Cryo damage is back in this game, and it is absolutely amazing. But my personal build is just not going to leave enough room for this ability, so I'm going to have to pass on it. Some people may enjoy freezing their enemies cold. It does definitely help out a lot to CC enemies in Borderlands at any point in time. Next, we have Hunter's Eye. Fl4k gains bonuses when fighting different types of enemies. Again, you're getting more. And this one was the damage reduction one, sorry, from the first skill line. You get crit versus humans, armor versus robots, and damage reduction versus beasts. Now, the armor is actually armor damage versus robots, which means you're going to be shredding through those tanky robots. Hunter's Eye, max it all the way. And by the way, this whole entire skill tree is the Hunter skill tree, which is basically based on Hunter abilities. Next up, we have Head Count. Whenever Fl4k scores a crit, there is a chance his action skill is reduced. yes, max hit all the way. You're going to be sending out so many racks because you're going to be critting like crazy. And it's a 30% chance at max stacks for -2 seconds on your rack cooldown. And again, rack cooldown is only 18 seconds. So you're critting like crazy in this build, and you're just getting racks and racks and racks to just send out and to dive bomb people. That's the intention anyways. Ambush Predator. While there are no enemies nearby, Fl4k's weapon handling and crit damage are increased. I'll pass. I don't really care about long-range builds. For me, I love the ARs, the SMGs, the shotguns, the running up and just spray and pray all the way, baby, every day with, again, heavy weapons, rapid fire. Vladov is one of my favorite manufacturers for that. Third line, we have Falconeer's Feast. Whenever Fl4k rack, yeah, damage an enemy, a portion of your health is restored. Late game, this might be needed because you're going to be, chunking your health bar down. It does restore a lot of health, but I like to play dangerously. Two-Fang, oh, it's back. It's in another skill tree from 0, back in the old games. But I mean, if I'm going to be honest here, this game has one ability that stands above all others, and it is this one right here, Two-Fang. I mean, you get, at max rank, a 25% chance, that's 1 in 4, guys, 1 in 4 chance that you're going to be sending out extra damage just out of the barrel of that gun, which means, again, like, if I'm playing a spray and pray build with a fast-firing weapon, I'm just chunking out extra projectiles, and then later on, when we get further down in the tree, you'll see why. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Spider Ant Scorcher converts your Spider Ant into a Scorcher, dealing incendiary damage around him, basically gives him a flame shield, and then it gives you health regeneration and elemental damage increase. I guess if you wanted to do an elemental damage, that is good. It does synchronize with the racks, which do fire damage, or at least they used to say they did fire damage. Pretty sure they still do fire damage. It just is not there right now. Yeah, it just doesn't say fire damage right now. But I mean, if you get to this tree and want to like augment your ant for a little while, yeah, that's cool, that's good. But we're going down to the next tree because we're going all the way, baby. Okay, Fl4k sends forward additional rack. This is flock and load. Additional rack 2. So you're sending out 4 racks. You get 2 racks, 4 racks, and you have 2 charges of the skill, so you're potentially sending out 8 racks on full cooldown. And then you have this, your hunter's head count again, that is reducing cooldown time. So you're pumping out racks, you're just dive bombing the ever living crap out of your enemy. And I'm hoping they work basically like any other pet summon in the game, where you can literally be hiding behind barrels and chucking out racks, just dive bombing people, not even caring because you're reloading and you're sending out racks. So let's go ahead and equip that just so you guys see down here, our basic skills. Next up is Big Game. Fl4k's hunter skills become much more effective and have longer duration. This is a must. Like, if I'm doing a hunter build, based on this hunter skill, and this one doesn't say it's a hunter skill, but I'm pretty sure it's a hunter skill, and there's just 30% at max rank of hunter skill effects, and hunter skill duration is literally doubled. So for example, this one that stacks up to 3, you're getting a 30% bonus on all that damage, all that action skill, all that etc, etc. Action skills, I'm not sure if the pet actually counts as a hunter skill. I don't think he does. But any buffs you get in this tree, and there's some hunter skills that we're going to look at in another tree that also get buffed. It's just going to make you absolutely super godlike. The most dangerous game is the next one in the 4th tier here. Hunter skill, again, it's a hunter skill. So a Big Game is actually augmenting this. Whenever Fl4k kills a badass or stronger enemy, they gain additional crit, hit, gun damage, and handling. We're just going to plop 1 point in here. We might put a point back in here, but the extra bonus for 2 minutes, basically, you have gun damage 8%, you have 3.3 crit hit damage, you have 14% handling, which is actually a lot for the first rank, and then you have duration of 2 minutes, right? So I might come back and dump a few points in here if I have a little bit extra left over, but we're going to keep going down the tree. Then in the fourth row, we also have the Spider Ant Countess, which is ultimately the pet I'm going to be using when we get an upgrade here, guys. The Spider Ant evolves into the Countess, which causes Fl4k to regenerate health, of course, 1% per second, which is not bad, but health regeneration in Borderlands, it's an iffy thing. I mean, a lot of times in late game you're chunked, so slow regenerating health doesn't help you maximum, but it does give you a little buffer zone, right? The big thing is, though, the damage reduction of 5%. That seems pretty good. You can actually save a lot of shield and health and whatever based on damage reduction. And the icing on the cake, when Fl4k issues an attack command, it burrows underground and then basically explodes up, dealing corrosive damage. And I love corrosive damage because it just melts people. The question is, how much damage will the pet actually do in the game? That is the, big question. And then down here we have Fl4k's racks have increased cooldown rate and gain an additional charge. The skill is called Rackcelerate. This, I think I'm going to be doing this as my second skill. Again, late game, just pumping out racks. We got reduced cooldown rate on top of, again, going back to every time we crit, we can reduce the cooldowns. Again, just throwing out racks. It's a crazy build. But endgame will determine if we need more health or if we need more racks. Then we have Galactic Shadow in the fifth row here. Fl4k deals increased critical hit damage and enemies are less likely to attack them. For 1 point, you gotta just 1 point it, right? I mean, that's pretty dang good. 15% crit damage for 1 point. Then we have Grim Harvest. Fl4k gains increased gun damage and action skill damage. This is actually really, really good because, of course, this build centers around what? Throwing out those racks. Racks are skill damage, and gun damage is the icing on the cake. Now, I'm going to sit here at 2 out of 5 for right now because we're going to look into another tree and then come back to this tree and see what we got left over. So, Megavore. Megavore is basically the second best skill in the game, guys. I mean, you got Twin Fang, you got gun damage, you're just pumping out projectiles. We're not aiming per se. I mean, we will aim at weak points. That is the whole point of Borderlands, to aim at weak points. But if you can't hit those weak points, we're just spreading bullets down range with our SMGs, with our heavy weapons, with whatever we got. And then, no matter where you hit with Megavore, Fl4k gains a critical hit chance of 20%. That is one of the best skills I've seen in this game apart from Twin Fang. It is just crazy. I mean, 20% on any projectile. You could shoot him in the big toe. You could shoot him in like the fingernail. It doesn't really matter. It's just like you get the damage. The damage is amplified on Fl4k, and it's really, really good. Okay, now this is my basic fill out of my red build. Again, we're going to come back and we're going to dump any extra points we have, but we want to make sure that we have at least, a few left over to go down the next tree, which is, for me, going to be the blue tree. Why? Because the blue tree seems to be absolutely amazing for pet damage and gun damage. It's just so good. In the blue tree, we're not going to have Gamma Burst. We're not going to have the Guard Skag because, again, our pet is the Spider Ant and our ability is the racks. But we have Ferocity. Fl4k's pet deals increased damage. 0 out of 5. I'm not quite sure how much the pet's going to be dealing in this game, so we're going to leave it at 0 for 5 for right now. If it turns out that your pet can do amazing damage, I might rethink this skill. Persistence Hunter. Fl4k gains increased damage and action skill duration. Our action skill is not really a duration. The gun damage would be nice, but the next skill, go for the eyes. When Fl4k's pet attacks an enemy, the first melee attack is an automatic critical hit that deals increased damage. I'm going for this. I'm going for, like, every time my pet makes contact with an enemy, I want them to just crunch into the enemy and just deal some maximum damage. And then our next tree is going to kind of help out with that a little bit. We got Gamma Burst, which augments, Atomic Aroma, which augments Gamma Burst. We don't use Gamma Burst, ignore it. Who Rescued Who? Whenever Fl4k's pet deals damage, Fl4k regenerates health for a few seconds. I'm not big into health regen. I don't care about health regen. Again, in late game, from my experience from all the other Borderlands, you do get chunked quite heavily, and you need to either find a way to heal it or just hide until you regenerate. When Fl4k's pet takes damage, the pet returns some of that damage to the attacker. I don't think the pet's going to have that much health in late game to really be reflecting that much damage. I could be wrong. I mean, our pet Spider Ant could be super, super tanky. He does seem to be the tanky one of the group from, just general thoughts and appearances, but not doing he bites. He bites, no. Frenzy? Oh, Frenzy, here we go. Hunter skill. Keyword there, hunter skill. When Fl4k's pet deals damage, Fl4k and their pet gain a stack of Frenzy. Each stack of Frenzy increases damage and decays after a few seconds. We're maxing this all the way, baby. So 4% per stack, and you get 10 stacks. Do the math on that, guys. That is 40%, but keyword hunter skill. So if you remember, back in our other tree, we have a skill that augments all hunter skills by 30%. So we're getting crazy amounts of damage. And since I'm a friend of SMGs, ARs, big heavy weapons that are spewing out bullets, we're going to stack this up pretty quick because hopefully our pet, just goes crazy and we're pumping out bullets and we're just doing all sorts of damage. Then we're going down to the third tree in the master skill line. Empathic Rage. Again, Gamma Burst skill. We don't use Gamma Burst. We won't need this skill at all. You can read it, but no. Psycho Head on a Stick. Hunter Kill skill. I'm pretty sure that's a hunter skill. So whenever Fl4k kills an enemy, their pet gains movement speed and damage. Here we go. We'll just pump a point in there to get it. Then we got Hive Mind. When Fl4k takes damage, a portion of the damage they take is shared to their pet. This is what we want. I mean, the damage reflect skill for the pet is pretty cool, but this is going to save our butts. This is what is going to keep us alive. 15% of all damage we take is distributed back to our pet. So we're kind of like using a synergy of sharing that lifeline with our pet. Now we come to an impasse where we have 8 points left over. And we can kind of flesh out our build a little bit. Here's a Skag augment, but we don't use the Skag, so we just ignore it, right? Greyhorn Skag. We're moving down. I know this is still grayed out, but we're gonna just go back and fill out a little bit of points here. Endurance. When Fl4k or Fl4k's pet kills an enemy while Gamma Burst is active, the duration of Gamma Burst is extended. We don't use Gamma Burst. We don't care endurance. Now this is kind of cool. We get Barbaric Yop. Increases the power of pet bonuses gained to Fl4k. Pet bonuses... Again, we don't have too many pet bonuses, so it's not really going to help us out a lot. Mutated defenses. When Fl4k's pet is low in health, it gains damage reduction and regenerates health. This seems kind of cool. Now, in late game, I could fill out this tree with 2 more points to get mutated defenses, because if we're distributing damage to our hive mind and it's going down here when our pet gets low, he just heals and gets damage reduction, it could technically save us more because we are distributing more damage to our pet and he's staying alive, i.e. not going down, and then we're taking that full 100% damage again. But for now, we're just going to leave it gray. And in Iridian Skag, again, no Skag pet. We don't need that. So we're going back. Going back to our hunter skill tree, we're going to flesh out the Grim Harvest, which gives us gun damage and action skill damage. This is going to help out with damage, just pure damage. I mean, racks do more damage, guns do more damage. There you go. Last 5 points. Now, I'd love to put it somewhere in this tree for something like Second Intention, where you're getting more reload skill, etc., etc. But we're going out here. We're going over to the third skill tree. I know it's a little bit wonky, but look at this. We got the monkey pet and we got the action skill for fade away, jabber sidekick, and fade away. Not using them. Not ignore them. We're not using them in my build. Personally, I don't like fade away. I don't like invisibility. I don't like stealthy crits, etc., etc. I like to run and gun, shoot out bullets, have a good time. First row, it's pretty much all we can do. So we got self-repairing system, gives you max health and health regeneration. Actually, this seems pretty good just for the max health. The 6% at rank 1, and if you max it out, you're getting some health and also health regen. But I'm not a fan of regen, so we're going down the row. Sikkim attack command has a lowered cooldown and increased damage. I'm not sure how powerful attack command is. This could be viable, but until we figure out if attack command is that amazing or not, we're going to go one more over. Furious attack. Hunter skill, guys. Hunter skill. Keyword there. After shooting an enemy, Fl4k gains a stack of furious attack. For each attack, or each stack of furious attack, Fl4k's handling and gun damage is increased. Stacks decay after a few seconds. You get handling 1% per stack. Gun damage 4% or 0.4% per stack. Furious stacks to 10. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Now we're at 4.8% handling per stack, 2% gun damage times 10. You're getting 20% gun damage, and what is that? Like 40% handling? Am I right with that? Yeah. Furious attack duration is 4 seconds. But if you remember, if you go back to our hunter skill tree, he has 30% bonus on all hunter skill abilities. So you are getting more handling, more gun damage, and double the duration up to 8 seconds of furious attack duration. Oh my gosh, that is so good. You are a crazy gunner who's spewing out racks, who's having a heck of a good time with your spider ant countess, who is basically kind of keeping you alive through 5% damage reduction here, more damage reduction here, and he's doing smack to the face with crit damage. This could also be moved over here to pet damage, assuming either one is more stronger than the other. But that's my build, guys. You're spewing out bullets, you're spewing out racks, you're having a good time. It's amazing. That's my build, pure and simple. I love it. I love Fl4k already. I can't wait to play the game. Tell me your thoughts.